Kubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Tnad jong ka Public Health Engineering ka Sorkar Jylla menta kasngi kalapanlong ye ka Rakhe World Water Day ka balalong hau Susatham Auditorium. Hagate kasngi ukongsan ude kwandat ke sangma ubade menteri rangba ka Jylla haringkat ka don lang jong Marcus and Marak ubade menteri bade kmi ka Tnad PHE ka Sorkar Jylla baruba coming one umban ubade kmi ka Tnad Water Resource ka Sorkar Jylla kum ki sembut kongsan. Haba ajin kran hagate kasngi ukandat ke sangma uloong baha kabakot kasngi kebadan kam kalong ban kunai ko umbam umdi barah kejuk kapor ban pentik kena ban pinbet penbiang ya ke jingsam ko umbam umdi syakinong syoknong ke Jylla barok kawe
Kari kasih bunyi hukum balak kelku kenraka jrong kilum jiwa jiwa ityang darong jeram kami hariang Iung po liu nagrabadong Nagbagi siya kinarungkong Kiung sindyar Masyang bandi Hasaw ayong Genter kimi
Don't think I have to speak much in regards to the importance of today's program and also the importance of water and also the importance of how we need to plan for the future in order to ensure that we are able to adapt and we're able to augment and plan out for the future scenarios that in all probability we will face when it comes to the water crisis. The presentation that was given by Dr. Shakil Ahmed has been very, very detailed and he has been able to connect all the different dots and present the past, the present and the future scenario to all of us to help us realize how important it is for us to plan things. In the presentation, I was noticing, and I'm sure all of you noticed, that we receive almost 63 billion cubic meters of rainfall every year. And out of this 63 billion cubic meters, roughly about 31 flows down to Bangladesh and about 31 billion cubic meters flows down to Brahmaputra. And hence we are at the end of the day left with about 1.5 to 2 billion cubic meters of water which we end up utilizing for our different needs. And hence, as was mentioned, as a state and as a people of Meghalaya, we are indeed blessed that we are one of the few states that receives water abundantly. Meghalaya can add 6% to the requirement of the entire nation. That's how much water we get. And therefore, the crux of the matter and the problem is really, at the end of the day, on how we manage things. And we have seen that in the last 50 years, we have, to some extent, not been as efficient as we should have been or could have been in order to ensure that we are able to manage the water that we are blessed with in a much more efficient manner. And that is the precise reason why we are all here today. And that's also precisely the reason why we are having and observing the World Water Day. It is also the reason why we are seeing all the different departments come together. Departments that are dealing with water. Because as was mentioned by Dr. Shakil, that we have many departments that are implementing different projects, programs, schemes. But at the end of the day, we end up being very scheme-based or scheme-oriented departments. And in the process of implementing schemes, in the process of ensuring that we are able to submit the utilization certificates on time, sometimes we lose track of the purpose or the final goal or objective that we are all here for. And hence, I always, in many of my speeches, I tell our departments and officials that it is important to remind ourselves constantly of what is the actual purpose at the end of the day. I asked the departments of irrigation once. This is when I was a member of parliament. I asked them in a meeting, I was having a Disha meeting, and I asked them that, how do you judge the success of the schemes that you are implementing? So we should go out of our schematic mindset of schemes-based performance into a purpose-based performance. And hence, making canals is not the objective, but it is a means of achieving the objective, which is to increase the production of paddy or whatever agriculture product is being grown. Hence, what we should realize today as we sit here together is that at the end of the day, whether it's water resource department, whether it's PHE department, whether it's soil conservation department, ultimately we are here to ensure that we are able to manage the water that we receive in a much better manner. We're able to protect, preserve, and maintain even the quality of the water at the end of the day. We should ensure that we are able to provide enough and sufficient drinking water to the citizens of our state in different parts of the state. At the same time, we should be able to have enough water managed in a proper manner so that we are able to supply for different agriculture products or production purposes, for different fisheries projects that we are having, or tourism related projects, and so on and so forth. And hence, I would like to urge all of you that while we work in our respective departments, we should not lose sight of the ultimate objective that is there in front of us and not get into a scheme-based approach in order to complete our schemes and lose track of the real purpose of what we are trying to do. Our Honorable Minister for Jal Shakti had come, and he had made this comment last time when he had come here, saying that Meghalaya is one of the few states that has got the picture correct. Because it is not just about implementing the Jal Jeevan program where you construct the tanks and put the water pipes, but it is also at the end of the day about how you manage the source of the water supply. And hence Meghalaya has had a holistic plan of ensuring that we protect our water bodies, we protect our catchment areas, we rejuvenate our spring sheds, we rejuvenate or recharge the groundwater, we create reservoirs so that we can slow the flow of the water. And all these other measures are being done in coordination with other departments, keeping the larger picture in mind to ensure that it's not just about fitting pipes, which what Jal Jeevan does, but we're also looking at how to maintain the water table, maintain the overall reservoirs, the spring sheds, and protect our catchment areas. I was telling him about, which Dr. Shikil just mentioned, the payment for ecosystem services is one of the most unique programs that our state is doing. And in fact, in the whole country, we are the only state that is doing this program. And the logic behind this program, for those who may not be aware, is that for the first time, government is paying people to not destroy the forest. And the logic is very simple. That once people destroy the forest, and then we put back money into the system to grow the forest again for afforestation projects and plantation of trees. We are number one, destroying the forest, we are losing time, and we are spending money to build back the forest. And we have budgeted close to 50 crores to be distributed to different community forests, individually owned forests, forests owned by traditional heads. Any of them are eligible to receive this. And hence these kind of unique programs have come up. We have large projects coming up for creation of reservoirs, catchment area protections. All these are very, very unique programs, and Meghalaya is on the right track to actually ensure that we are able to manage our water better in the long run. And hence I take this opportunity, without speaking too much, I take this opportunity to thank all of you for all the efforts that are being put in. And as Dr. Shakil has put it very nicely, we can't be working in silos. We need to understand that the purpose is the same, and hence we have different responsibilities, but at the end of the day, we are working towards the same goal. I also would like to congratulate our PHE minister, because he got the timing very, very right. I'm sure the World Water Day was, of course, not planned by him, but it happens to be on this day. But it was very, I should say, very thoughtful of him of inviting me just before I present the budget tomorrow, so that I keep in mind that we need to keep higher budget for water projects. So I don't want to give out much information. When I present the budget tomorrow, you will see that there is a large amount of funds that are going to be spent for water. So it's not just about us talking and giving long lectures and speeches, but about action also. So you will see, and I will try to maybe present a picture about the entire water scenario, and you'll be able to then really gauge the amount of importance that our government in the past 5 years and in the coming next 5 years, the importance that we're going to give to water. Huge projects that one would not be able to imagine could ever be done at this scale in a state like Meghalaya are going to be done in the coming years. And we will start off with this budget, and you will see tomorrow that there will be a large amount that will be kept for a lot of the water projects. We have been able to mobilize externally aided projects, whether it is for catchment area protection, whether it's for eco-restoration projects, whether it is for natural resource management, or whether it is for creation of reservoirs. The amount runs into thousands of crores. I'm not talking of lakhs of few crores. I'm talking about thousands of crores. And that's the kind of focus that we have on water. And that's the reason why when the Honorable Minister mentioned this to me, I was very happy to be part of this project, of this celebration today. And once again, I thank him. And I'm sure that with the kind of leadership that we have of our ministers and also the officials who are working in the different departments, I can assure you that a lot of exciting times are coming ahead. And I can see that Meghalaya is going to be showing the way to many other parts of the country in terms of how to ensure that we have a very robust policy plan and implementation on ensuring that we manage our water well. At every village, that means 6,000 such committees are there today. And hence, we are not just talking about government department and officials working. This entire infrastructure, the entire institutional setup, and this entire organizational setup, it goes down all the way to the village level. That's the kind of structure that has been created, and hence today, if you want to implement things, you can imagine that with a strong force of about 6,000 such committees at the village level, And with our team of officials and with the dynamic ministers that we have, I'm sure that we will be able to see a huge difference in the water scenario in the state, which, as was mentioned earlier, is a very, very important aspect. We don't realize it today, but we are looking at, in the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, a huge water crisis in the country. Really huge. In fact, in the entire world. But we are quite lucky that we have the blessings and we are receiving adequate rainfall. The question is only about managing it better. And hence, we have to be very careful as we move along in the future. There will be huge challenges because of the climate change that we're having. And as a government, it is our duty to plan ahead, as Doctor said, not just for 25 years, I should say. We need to plan for the next 50 years to ensure that in every aspect, this is how we've been working, in fact, for the government. Whenever we sit down, we look at the next 50 years and try to see where we're heading, because that is the only way to ensure that we are prepared for the different challenges that are ahead of us in the future.
Water is one of the most precious resources of our planet. Unavailability and management are critical for human survival and prosperity. World Water Day is widely observed each year on the 22nd March to raise awareness about the critical importance of water each year. A different theme is chosen to highlight the pressing water-related issue of the time. The theme for the World Water Day is accelerating change. The theme focuses on the need to accelerate action and innovation to address the growing water challenges and achieve water-related sustainable development goals. The theme emphasizes the need to move beyond incremental changes and take transformative steps to ensure the sustainable management of water resources. The global challenge of the water crisis affects people, ecosystem, and economies today. More than 2 billion people lack access to safe drinking water, and many people face water scarcity. Climate change, population growth, and unsustainable water management practices accelerate the crisis and threaten the availability of water for future generations. Accelerating change in water management is crucial to address the water crisis and ensuring water availability for future generations. This requires the adoption of new technologies, policies, and practices that promote sustainable water use and management. It also requires the involvement of all stakeholders, including government, businessmen, and civil society, and individuals, to work together to promote sustainable water management. Reducing water usage by using water-efficient appliances, fixing leaks, and prompting behavior changes that reduce water waste. Rainwater harvesting, this involves capturing and storing rainwater for future use, reducing reliance on groundwater and surface water. Innovative technologies, these involve the use of new technologies such as water treatment and remote sensing to manage water resources more efficiently.
Minister's dream of making available safe drinking water to each and every rural household through Jal Jeevan Mission is being realized throughout the country. The state of Meghalaya is also hoping that this dream is accomplished in the state. Along with the coverage of functional household tap connections to every rural household, the state is extensively undertaking several activities under the support activities such as skilling, IEC, BECC, IPC activities, capacity building and training activities, as well as activities underwater, quality monitoring, and surveillance to enhance the capacities of the local community for long-term operations and maintenance of the scheme. Along with the rest of the world and the country as a whole, the state is pushing forward its contribution to SDG 6 through the Jal Jeevan Mission and many other programs and schemes under the department. One of the many activities through which the state encourages people to be aware of water and sanitation issues is the celebration of World Water Day, an event celebrated annually with a different theme each year, decided by UN Water, which is aligned with annual publication of UN Water Development Report, published by UNESCO on behalf of UN Water. This year's theme, Accelerating Change, is a call for each and everyone to take action on water and sanitation issues. Every individual, family, school, community can make a difference by changing the way we use. Simple actions like as you walk into the knowledge hub just outside the premises of this hall, you will come across an inspiring story of hummingbird, which originated with the Quechua people in Peru, which would encourage you to be the change you want to see in the world. Each one of us can make a difference by doing simple acts at home, by fixing leaking water, not leaving the tap running when you brush your dishes, wash your dishes, participating in cleanup of local bodies, finding where your water comes from, protecting these water sources from being polluting, and many more. Choose your action and take a pledge to make a difference.